Okay, well, Coach Finn here, and this is Chalk Talk 10, the first of our offensive series, and this is describing our system fast break and knowing the roles depending on what player you are. When the other team makes a shot, on a made shot, and there is no press. Now again, I could demarcate our two guy being that guy, because he's our preferred shooter. He's proven to us in practice that he's the guy that we want to shoot first as we get down the court. I won't do that, but that's where we're at. So let's say the opponent has the shot and they're taking a shot on the arc, or they've taken a shot in here. Principles of blocking out somebody, finding a body as the ball comes up, so we can try to get that rebound. But in this case, the ball goes through the hoop. Immediately, if you're the 4 guy, you are taking the ball out of bounds and clearing the backboard. 2, firing up this side of the court. 3, firing up the left side of the court. Do remember that if you're 3, you're always going to, as you get to half court, look back to make sure one has the ball. If they don't, you're going to be someone who comes back. All right? But 5 starts to go up this side of the court. This is the perfect break. A little bit of information about the 4 and the 1. 1, you're going to do what's called a J cut. You take the ball and you try to get it, and 4 takes it and you're off and running. But 4 is also going to be your eyes. That if, let's just say they had somebody here and you're looking back for the ball and you're on your J cut going off and going, there's not really a press, but there is somebody there. 4, if they don't throw it, they're seeing somebody here, where if you catch it, they could get you for a charge. So 4 is what's called being your eyes. If somebody's there, you've got to know that if they haven't thrown the ball to you by this point, there's somebody there, and you simply turn in to the court, to the middle of the court, instead of looking on the outside. Show your right hand, and they'll give it to you here, and that's called a square cut. All right, so you're doing J, but if it's not getting to you on time, you turn, and you'll get the square. All right. But for the purposes of this, you get the ball and you're up and running. And 4 comes up behind you. As these guys are getting down the court, dead sprint. It's a full-on sprint. There's various areas of the court that we're looking for things. When 1 is in this area to half court, they are looking to, do I have a pass up the court to score? Do I have a pass up the court to score? If 5 happens to be out and running, they tend to be a little bit further behind, but if they're out and running, do I have a pass up ahead to score? All right. In this area, that's when you're releasing the ball early up the court. Otherwise, as you cross half court, this is when things start to become, we're hunting for a shot for number 2. And in a minute, I'm going to talk about 2. And there are various different ways of doing things, but this is the traditional thing. First guy come on this side that's down, comes into the lane, the next guy is outside the lane. And they are looking for 2 to come through, and as many of you know, depending on where their defender is, if they're following them through, then ideally 5 is going to say curl, because they're going to see what their guy is doing. And you go curl, and they come right off here, and by this time 1's in this area roughly, and you get it there. But the timing of this action, the timing of this action over here has got to be happening just past half court or just before. It would have had to have happened by then. Okay. Because otherwise, if they are late in coming through, they're set up, but they're late in coming through. One's job is to get all the way to the hoop, knowing that if they can't get all the way to the hoop, then they have options to stop, and 4, one of their options is to fill in behind where 1 went in for a 1-4 shot if 4 has shown that they can shoot. Some other ways of looking at this. Let's continue to say that 1's here, this is happening. 2 is looking to either go curl or go fade. Depending on what 2 does, then 5 is now looking, after they are helping screen 2's person, their next thing is I'm headhunting for 3 to either go out to where 2 didn't go. If they went curl, they're going to go fade. If 2 went fade, then 3 would curl, and then 5 has an option to slip to the basket. So those are the options that 1 is looking at as they are getting into this area between half court and the top of the key. Can I get it to 2 safely for a good shot? Or as they get it even deeper and all this action happened even later, they can now jump in the air and get a shot, a pass out to 3, or jump in the air and a pass back out to 2, or jump stop, turn around, and give it to 4. By this time, you're 6 or 7 or 8 seconds into the fast break. We're trying to get a good shot off in 12 seconds. You got to have that in your time, and so when we practice it, you should know what kind of 12 seconds is. And in those 12 seconds, early in those 12 seconds, we're looking for 2 first. Then we're basically looking for 5 on a dive, or 3 next, or back out to 4. All right. Now we're getting later in the count and the count. I'm going to come back and talk about some other options of what 2 would have and what 3 would have later. But let's say the ball stopped. They couldn't go all the way. They didn't see a safe, good pass as we crossed half court to the top of the key. We didn't see a good pass, so they got it back out to 4. Now you just fill back out. 5's goal is to stay in the paint. The goals now become, how can we get a good shot? A good shot is an open look for our primary shooter, preferred. But now we can also go, if you have a green light and you're a secondary shooter and it's late in the count and you have a good open look, you got a shot. Good open look, you have a shot. Good open look, you have a shot. But also, if there's not anything open there, you can, or off of a pass, the next person can decide, I have penetrating skills, I'm getting into the lane and I am looking for either all the way to the hoop, I'm looking for a bounce pass down to the low post, I am looking for a pass out to a secondary, even a secondary shooter for a good shot, or another option is to get the ball into the post for a post move to finish off this count before 12 seconds is out. But also, one last effort is inside out, getting the ball into the post, either in the low or if they happen to be in the high post. But then they look around the arc for an open, usually on the weak side, an open preferred shooter or secondary shooter for that shot before that magical kind of 12 seconds is off. We are trying to force pace with good shots, and good shots are good open looks for the preferred shooter first, secondary shooter second, dribble penetration all the way to the hoop, dribble penetration and dish, post entry and good post moves, post entry and weak side looks. These are your options, okay? Now let me come back real quick, and we are, 1 is here, 3's gotten down here, 5's come down here. You do have the freedom to cross over, and you're still using kind of the same variables. Let's say you cross over, but then 2 sees that 1's come over here. Well, it's going to get all congested. So 2 can just stay in here. They can stay in here and look for a shot right here in the middle. Or they can stay over here and know that 5 sees that 2 isn't coming. 5 can set the pick on 3, and they can, based on where their person is, they can curl for a pass. They can go to the fade for a pass, and then a dump down, and then a weak side. You know, these are all things that, but 5 is a screener. So they're reading what's going on and trying to find good shots for ideally preferred, but otherwise secondary shooters. And then they slip to the basket. The other thing I wanted to say, so we have 1 that primarily is trying to get down as fast as they can this way, up the floor, then off of our screening action, into the lane, and then you have safety out. The other thing is 2. Let's come back here and say, let's say 2 starts their journey across the lane, but they realize that the team is cheating, and they're starting to read these and get across these cuts, and they're ahead of them. Like I said, you don't have to do this. You can just stop and come right up underneath the hoop, and 1 can get it here if you have an open space here. I call this the nose of the lane. The eyeballs are around the blocks. These are scoring areas, okay? And if they're going to give it to us and cheat, let's make them pay for it. Or we can go through and they're going to cheat over. Just stay back out here. It doesn't matter. Then these guys will do their screening action to get the next guy open, and he's going to be looking and trying to penetrate. So we want a preferred shooter who does it, and on a 5 and 3 they're looking to help him. But if he doesn't come across for one reason or another, 5 and 3 still got to work to try to get someone open on the arc and someone diving to the hoop. All right. One other thing is, if 1 gets pushed out, let's say we've gone through the motions. This time 5 got down first, so they set picks and they decided to curl, and then they set another pick and they decided to fade, but they got pushed out by the defenders. Got them out this way. Well, then you can do what's called a 4 should be coming in behind where 1 penetrated, but if they didn't penetrate, 4 can come over and set a pick, and then we're creating another bit of motion of getting into here. A little bit more time has happened. These guys can see that 4's come over to set a pick, and they know that they're going to be coming over the top. So you can, one more time, come down. If 2 is still the preferred, 3 would be looking to set a back pick for 2. Since they're the preferred shooter, and they could go to the fade, and they can come out to the curl. 5 is still looking for, off a penetration, a dish down. 1's trying to get all the way to the hoop. But these guys have worked one more screen in this action to free up another good shot. Again, all within about the 12-second mark. If you're going and you get pushed out, you're getting late in that count. So, in summary, this is the fast break off of a made shot, and how 4 is looking as 1's eyes, and then 1 is looking immediately up the floor early before half court for a good solid pass and all the way in, either for a stop and pop on the 3, or all the way in for an easy basket and then get into our break, our press break, or our presses. But then the deferment to 2 also thinking, do I go all the way through or not? Do I curl or fade? And then 5 and 3, trying to get 3 open on the lane and 5 diving in. 1 being smart, trying to get all the way there if they get in here and they don't feel like they have a good look, and coming back out. And then you're quickly looking for, late in the count, ways to score off of post entry for scores, post and weak side, dribble penetration, and dish or go all the way, dribble penetration, and pop back out. So those are the variables that you're trying to score within 12 seconds. I will talk about two more things, and that is, and also if one gets pushed out, you can do the 1-4 play over the top, and then you're looking for one more opportunity as these guys have done work. But 5 and 3 are looking to try free up 2, and then if 2 is taken care of, 5's looking to free up 3. One other thing is if you're kind of late and the break kind of got stopped and it's getting bogged down and somehow the ball's here, always remember that another way to get a quick hitter is if the ball's if things are being overplayed and you don't really have a pass, and you don't think you really have the penetration skills, you haven't shown you have the ball handling skills to penetrate, and nothing's open. The next thing, a classic thing off of read and react, is if you have pressure, another way to get open for another quick good shot is, this is overplayed, I'm not throwing it. I'm going to press into the pressure and then backdoor them, and then we have shots for all the way to layup or bounced passes, or even just a quick out to the next guy. But with pressure, know you have backdoor and have that other way of dealing with it. A fantastic way to beat teams that are going to overplay and try to take away the arc, a fantastic way, is through dribble penetration and getting them to respect that. But hopefully you have the skills to penetrate and get in effectively for shots all the way to the rim, or bounce offs, bounce pass down, dump downs, or good solid passes to somebody open on the arc. Dribble penetration opens up the arc. So if the arc is covered, you know how to get open by backdooring, and you know how to get open through dribble penetration. Again, all trying to get things done within about 12 seconds. That's enough for the fast break. I will see you again soon.